1 year, I took 800 dance lessons, and they didn't help me dance in social situations at all. And you might be thinking, okay, how is that even possible? Let me explain, and let me also teach you how to practice correctly so you don't make the same mistakes that I've made. In class, I was taking those group lessons. I was getting better at learning the movements, following the teacher, memorizing the moves, memorizing the sequences. But at a party, I noticed that nobody's doing that kind of dancing at all. What people do is they kind of just move to the music. They respond to what is happening in a song. They are able to do random movements, connect them randomly. And I feel like those dance classes that I was taking were not preparing me for that at all. I also noticed that dance classes that I was taking, they failed to provide me with the method on how to practice at home. Because how are we supposed to know that? You go to class, you're learning some moves. So the natural thing for me, I thought, to do was to take these moves that I learned in class or the sequence and then practice it at home, just from memory. But I already told you that just the dance moves are a very small part of being able to freestyle. Not to mention that the moves that I learned in group classes, I would never do them on the dance floor. They were too big, too energetic, they required much space. Those were not applicable in social situations. So I would say 90% were not usable. Okay, so how should you practice at home so that you are prepared for the dance floor? It will start with copying the teacher, yes, because you have to know what to do, right? You have to learn the movements first. So it starts with learning the movement by following someone, preferably a dance teacher. But then step number 2 is you have to be able to do those movements on your own, practice them without the music, just going through the motions, making sure you're executing all the details that you got from the teacher when you were following yourself, right? Then step number 3, you're going to have to be able to match those learned movements to the music yourself. So play a song, put different songs on shuffle, make sure you can do the movements with rhythm by yourself, because when you're on the dance floor at a party, this is what you will be required to do. You'll have the movements, you'll have a random song playing, maybe a song you've never heard before, and you have to know how to dance correctly with rhythm. So practice that at home first. After you practice each movement individually to a song, then you have to practice putting them together, but not in an organized, memorized kind of way. You have to practice freestyle dancing, meaning any movements that you've learned, you want to play the song and then do them randomly. Go from one to the next, repeat the first one a few times, so that you are prepared to kind of spontaneously switch between the movements. And step number 5, the last one, you also want to work on your weaknesses. Whether it's, stiffness, maybe your hips feel stiff, maybe you don't know what to do with the arms, maybe you're not coordinated. You should spend more time working on those issues because they're not going to get resolved on their own. If you need more help, the link to work with me will be below this video. Especially step number 5, working on your issues, is very crucial for you, because what else I discovered was missing in a dance class was personalized approach. Because of course in a group class, we were all doing the same movements, but every person had different issues and different strengths. And teachers were not teaching how to make the moves look good on us. My teachers were teaching the same moves to everyone. Now, a person who has, 3 years of experience will look different doing the same moves than the person that's just starting out. And that's because the person who is just getting started and has been dancing for, let's say, a month, has different ability to coordinate different body parts, right? Than a person who has been dancing for years. Yet in a dance class, the teachers don't develop your coordination. So I kind of had to go home and figure this out on my own, which took me years. In class, if the teacher was moving, let's say, 5 body parts at the same time, so feet, knees, hips, torso, arms, everyone had to do the same, even though their skills, maybe for some people, only allowed them to move 2 things at once, or even 1. Like, how do you put everything together in a matter of split seconds? Now, when you're at a party, when you're just freestyle dancing, you're in charge. You don't have to do all 5 things if you're not coordinated enough yet. You can start to build coordination gradually. You can start vibing with just moving the hips and arms, and that's it. Like, you're in charge. You can decide what to do and what feels good for you. So I pretty quickly realized that this method of learning is not working. That's why I was feeling stressed out and I wasn't making progress. So when I teach my clients, I build their coordination gradually. We start with very simple movements. Remember, step one, start with simple moves. And then gradually we make them more interesting by adding stuff, by adding more layers, by adding more body parts. So just to give you an example, one of my clients, Jenny, when we first started working together, she was barely able to move two things at the same time. I had to make sure that she's able to follow the beat. That's why two things was plenty to start with. But then once her rhythm got better, once her coordination was better, it was easier for her to move those two things at once. Then we started to add more and more. And now she's able to move pretty much everything, and she looks effortless doing so. I find that developing coordination is much more beneficial because it will much quicker get you to the point where you like the way you look dancing. And that is so important. Take my client Charlotte, for example. She hated the way she looked moving her body. She would never go out. And now when she is dancing in public, she's getting compliments from strangers. She's being mistaken for a professional dancer. That's the difference. Just focusing on moves, memorizing, but not being able to make them look good on you, and building the skills, building the coordination, having the tools to make the movements look natural so that you're proud of the way you dance, and therefore you have the confidence to dance in front of other people. And again, I'll just mention that dance classes are fun when you know what you're doing, when you have the skills and when you're good at dancing. I saw plenty of people around me when I was going to those classes enjoy them very much. Most of them were better than me though, so maybe that's the reason. But if you don't have the skills like I did when I started, it was a waste of time to take 800 dance classes in a year and not be happy with results. You know, we have to do something different. If you don't want to learn by yourself, if you want somebody's eyes on you, guidance every single step of the way, going through the entire A to Z process until you're a confident, comfortable social dancer, book a call with me. I will be able to help you. So I'm super excited to chat with you guys. The link to book a free consultation with me will be below this video in the description, as well as in the top comment, or just comment help and I will send you the link where you can book directly with me. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I will see you in my next video very shortly.